Okay.
Our next and final individual inductee of the evening is Mr. Keith Getz. Keith served as Wayne State's head athletic trainer for 12 years, from 1988 to 2000. He was the lone full-time athletic trainer for all 15 Wildcat sports at the time, and was known for teaching student athletic trainers in his time at Wayne State College. While working at Wayne State, Getz was very active in other athletic training areas, including serving as the chief athletic trainer for the boxing venue at the 1996 Summer Olympics in Atlanta. He also served as the athletic trainer for the Ghana track and field team in 1997 at the World Track and Field Championships in Athens, Greece. Other athletic training highlights for Mr. Getz included the trainer of the U.S. boxing team in the 1990 Goodwill Games, the athletic trainer for the 1992 U.S. Boxing Olympic Training Camp, and serving as the boxing and cycling trainer at the 1993 U.S. Olympic Festival. During his time at WSC, Getz also served as an assistant professor in the Human Performance and Leisure Studies Department, and in addition to being the head athletic trainer. His service and dedication to Wayne State College athletics was respected and appreciated by all student athletes, coaches, and other staff members of the programs he supported during his tenure as head athletic trainer. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our final individual Hall of Fame inductee, Keith Getz.
I can guarantee you that no one in this room saw me wear a suit in 12 years. And as I was tucking my notes in here, I found things from 3 years ago. Because that's how long it's been worn its suit. First of all, I want to congratulate Cyrus. And he said, there's this guy that's our trainer at Fort Hays, everybody calls him Greek. And he takes care of our injuries, he puts ice on our injuries, he tapes our ankles. And I'm going, well, I'm a terrible athlete, but I can get into sports that way. But what happened was, as a 17-year-old freshman in college, I was so immature and so scared and the worst student ever that I wouldn't even go in to talk to him. And so I just went into general education just to get some classes out. So sophomore year, I go in to talk to Steve Antonopoulos, and they say, Steve's gone, he left last week. Well, where is he? Well, he's the new head trainer, or assistant trainer at the Denver Broncos. I mean, my heart just sunk because that's who I wanted to learn under. And so they replaced him with some other people who were nowhere near. In fact, he's still there. I mean, I've been a Broncos fan since that day. And 42 years later, he is still director of sports medicine for the Denver Broncos and the most respected trainer in the NFL. So anyway, I just put it on hold. I mean, I was shocked. I got a job managing a movie theater 2 days before the original Star Wars came out. So I was hooked on that. And I just did that in Hayes. I did it in Colorado Springs. And then I came back, wanted to finish my student training. I had my bachelor's. Didn't like student teaching because I didn't want to really do high school. So I got my master's, and still I wasn't ready to put those 1,800 hours in. I took all the classes to become an athletic trainer. I just didn't have 1,800 hours of practical experience. So I go skiing for 2 years, which everybody should. I thought I could use my medical knowledge and maybe make ski patrol. Not knowing you have to be a pretty good skier. It helps to get to the injury to take care of the injury. I can say right now I could probably make ski patrol because that's all I do right now, in the ski. So anyway, 10 years went by. 1986, I used up all of my options. I go, it's time. I'm 28. I wanted to have my first real job at 30. So I go back to Fort Hays because a guy that I took all my classes from. His name was Brad Brown. He went to the Broncos. I'm going, well, now how am I going to get my hours? So I drive back to Hayes from Colorado Springs, where I was directing or supervising a YMCA for the summer. And I knew Jeff Chambers was the new head athletic trainer in his second year. So I went looking for him, and everybody goes, we don't know where he's at. And I'd go to football, well, he just went over to phys ed. Went over to phys ed, or knew the phys ed. He's not here, he's over at football. So I go back. Nobody knew where he was. So I was on my car, went back to my parents' house, packed, and I was ready to ditch it and probably work as a personal trainer or something. And I figured I'd stop and say goodbye to the phys ed director, who'd always been a big help. And said, I guess I wasn't meant to be an athletic trainer, because I can't find Jeff Chambers anywhere. He goes, that's him standing right. And so I go to Jeff and I said, Jeff, I'm 28 years old. You usually have 18 to 22-year-olds that you teach. I go, will you take an old guy to do my 1,800 hours? And he goes, I would love to have an 28-year-old putting the hours in. And I mean, I moved back. If he'd have said no, I wouldn't be standing here, because that was my only option, was at Fort Hays. And so he gave me so much responsibility, because I knew my stuff from books, but I just hadn't applied it yet. Within 3 games, I was traveling with the football team. I went with the wrestling team. I was their trainer. I was with nationals, 2 national champions. And the thing that happened was, we did a lot of book learning. Chambers took the observation classes and turned them into hands-on. And you cannot be a good athletic trainer if you're wrong on anything. You got to be able to do pretty much all of the tests that an orthopedic surgeon would do on a shoulder, on a knee, and an ankle. If you're wrong, that coach is never going to send you an athlete to come back again. You got to know how to do rehabilitation, not read rehabilitation. Chambers just drilled this into us. And I was always the one that he had to use as a model to palpate the shoulder, to do all the tests. And I became good at those tests. Then he leaves after a year. Chambers. So we bring in another trainer. Chambers goes to Topeka. And this guy was a really good trainer also. He really laid back though, and he knew I could be trusted. But the worst thing he taught me was, sometimes it's good to buy things out of your own pocket so you have them, because you know your budget's not too. I hate to tell you how much money I spent here in the state as a result of that. But anyway, towards the end of my second year, I'm getting ready to take the national exam, and Chambers calls. And he says, Wayne State jobs. I go, so? Because Wayne State was in our conference. Fort Hays, Wayne State, Pittsburgh State, and Portage State. He goes, you got to go for it. He goes, a guy from Topeka, Washburn, got offered the job by Ralph Barkley, and the job came open here in Topeka, and he decided to stay. So Barkley is stuck right now. He goes, call him. So I called him up, and I just visited with him, because I hadn't taken the national exam yet. I took the national exam and flunked it. The written part, because like I said, I was not a good test taker. Chambers stayed on me, and I called Brad Brown, who's now head trainer of the Houston Oilers. I go, Brad, what about this Wayne State job? Should I take it? He goes, are you kidding? That is the last place. They have been through 5 trainers in the past 6 years. They have no budget. The football team, we won't say how bad the football team is at that time. And worst of all, the football coach just became the athletic director. And that is the kiss of death on a lot of people. I call up Chambers and I go, Chambers, what are you trying to get me into here? He goes, let's put it this way, you're 30 years old. How many people who are just getting certified? I passed my second time with the 3rd highest grade in the country, because Chambers and some others helped me study a little bit better this time. He goes, how many people do you know just get certified and get a head athletic training job at a 4-year college right away? Usually you gotta go through years as an assistant. So, call up Barkley and I come here to visit. And Ralph just won me over. I mean, he was not nice to me. And that's what won me over. Because he said, it's going to be tough because that athletic director hates athletic trainers. He goes, but I got your back. So I went over to the athletic director, football coach. He goes, I hate athletic trainers. And I just go, Chambers? What am I supposed to do? So I come up here with my mom, as I just told my family, and I talked with Ralph, and I decided to come. And the first year, the first 2 weeks, I had my resignation letter written. It was as bad as everybody thought it would be. There was dissension in the athletic department because he had gotten the athletic director job, and none of the other people cared. So women's basketball coach quit, softball volleyball coach quit. The 2 he replaced him with had absolutely no coaching experience, not even as an assistant or grad assistant. And they both lasted 1 year. And I just said, if I can get through football, because we didn't even get to travel with the football team. We weren't considered part of the team. We had to take a separate car. So I go, if I can get through the season, then I'll resign. And so third game comes along, and this next guy, Dr. David Brown, comes and introduces himself because we always have the University of Nebraska Medical Center as our team physicians. They fly into the game. He drove in or showed up at the game and he introduced himself. Just came from the Naval Academy, was team physician, worked with David Robinson and Napoleon McCallum. And all you got to do is throw big names and names. You talk about a trainer, athletic trainer, team physician relationship, that was perfect. We were just transitioning from the old type of knee surgeries where they cut you with a zipper cut from like top of your calf up into your quad and open you up and use pliers and all this stuff and then pull things out, sew you back together. He introduced the arthroscopically assisted smaller incision surgeries where everybody was taking a year to year and a half, and some were even in a cast for 6 weeks. Chambers had to teach me that. They'd get out of a cast at 4 days yet, and we would have to work for the next month and getting their legs straightened because it was locked. People are coming out of his surgeries and walking almost without a limp or with a brace within a week. And he was so groundbreaking, all the other doctors in the area were looking to him. When I started here, everybody was saying, well, every high school would say, we all go to the University of Nebraska. George Sullivan looks at our kids, and then Dr. Clare. Within 2 years, I got the reputation of working with Dr. Brown, so everybody started coming to me, and it was a one-line thing. I'd call up Dr. Brown, we got another ACL coming in. And every time that we had an athlete from Wayne State, he got him in within hours in Omaha or the next day. The thing that he did was he wrote off his cost on all of our surgeries. He gave me some supplies because I couldn't buy any supplies. And he just treated everybody so well that everybody just loved him, and everybody started wanting to go get their surgeries by Dr. Brown. With me, I got such a reputation that I was getting people back so fast. I'm going, oh, I can't help it. And he was kind of getting upset with me every once in a while. He goes, you can't do that this fast. Or he'd say, well, you can start having them bike next week. And go, but they started biking last week. And he'd go, I think it's time for us to start rewriting our rehabilitation protocols because everybody was still doing it the old way. And by the time I left, people were playing it 6 months instead of a year and 6 months. And it was, I had treated, but I learned so much from him. Everything I learned from Chambers just got tweaked a little bit by Dr. Brown, where I never thought I could do more. And then I'd call up Dr. Brown and go, I can't figure this one out. Posterior cruciate? Dang, I forgot to check that. 3 different times. I always thought I knew everything, and he, the basic thing. So anyway, while I was here, everybody always called me MacGyver because I had to make everything. I would see, funny thing when I got here was we had no cups. We couldn't have water cups on the sidelines because athletics wouldn't buy me any. We had no contract with Coke or Pepsi, so nobody would give me some, so they'd send me down to Dairy Queen. They'd give me a sleeve of cups for football. So I made these electric water carts. And I've got to back up a little bit. The next person that prepared me, besides Jeff and Dr. Brown, was my dad. We were farmers. I grew up on a very small farm. We never had a new piece of equipment in our life because everything he bought was second, third, and fourth hand and worn out and thrown away by everybody else. And he turned it into something that worked great. I asked, we got to build a trailer. He had this big pile of pipe. He was a great welder. He would build everything, fix everything. Well, my junk pile was underneath the ice or underneath the football field. Every piece of trash on campus, every desk that couldn't be used, every cabinet got thrown under there. And that was just wide-eyed for me because I built everything. So I built new taking, everything was there. Red Swanson is the person who started athletic training here. He's a Hall of Famer. I swear when I took over, what he was new was still what I'm using. And so I just started building things, and we had these electric water carts that I'd seen on the NFL sidelines. And the players go, "You're a genius." I go, "No, I just steal other people's ideas and make them cheaper," because one of those was $750. One of mine was $100. I got Iowa State, UNLV, and Fort Hays all making them with my video. And so I would be making all these things, and then I would ask for other things, and they always get no. So I started not asking. So the whole area of Rice Auditorium in the basement was concrete. We did a covert operation one night with 10 feet of chain pipe, a chain link fence, and built a 1,000 square foot rehab facility. And I got reamed on that for a few weeks. Within 2 months, it was a recruiting tool because all the parents saw all of our athletes that Dr. Brown did the surgery on doing their rehab as they were on their tour. And the number of athletes and parents that came back and coaches that said, they said one of their things that made us decide to come here is we knew we were going to be taken care of by keeping the training room and Dr. Brown in the office. And so that's how things went. I mean, it got better and better and better. Started out so bad. And every time, I said I got to do the Olympics, I got to do the other stuff, gave me the reputation and opened up some jobs. And every time that I had a chance to take a job, I go, how am I ever going to learn from somebody as good as Dr. Brown? So I got offered 2 very good jobs that sometimes I look back at and wish that we didn't have Dr. Brown to stop me, but I turned them down. I go, I can't learn from somebody like this again. He taught me a way of putting a dislocated shoulder in. I was at a team physicians for the NFL meeting 2 years ago, and they showed the way I learned as a freshman in college, which is painful and awful. And I would be teaching this little thing that took us 3 seconds to put it back in. Going, maybe you guys should talk to Dr. Brown. But to close, they said, "You got 5 minutes to talk." I just had some people that I needed to thank. Because one of the things when I left here, I went to Grand Canyon University of Phoenix. The athletic, let's say secretaries, I'll say the administrative assistants, we had Lawrence Smith, who I